In today's episode, we're going to look at the tough times faced by two people who've battled with a deep fear of being left alone and a strong sense of hopelessness. We'll hear their moving stories and really feel every emotion and see how these challenges have shaped their lives. As we listen to what they've been through, we will learn about the important lessons they've discovered during those difficult times. Furthermore, we'll see how their faith has played a part in their journey, helping them find their way out of a dark place and finally healing. Their stories show us the amazing and courageous strength and effort that comes from letting go and trusting in something greater during these most difficult periods of life. That is, God. For our first story, she is a caring wife and mother of two beautiful daughters. She is also a junior high school teacher of Faith Christian School. Deep in our hearts, we all feel the sense of hopelessness in times of adversity. But our speaker today shares her story about facing these fears and moving on from them, seeing the light in the midst of the darkness. Let us listen to Ma'am Barabas with her inspiring story of courage. So, ma'am, I'd like to start off by asking, how are you right now?
Right now, currently consumed with a lot of things to do. Okay? With a lot of paperwork to do, schoolwork, and at the same time, how to juggle being a mother,
Yes, po.
being a wife, a teacher, and a Filipino citizen. Ayan. So, maraming tayong roles na ginagampanan.
Yes, po. But we want to know po more about you. So, can you just tell us little things about yourself po?
Okay, little things about me. I like to sing. I like music. If given the time, I'd like to indulge myself again reading a lot of books and novels. Pero kasi right now, wala akong liberty
Yes po.
to indulge myself with reading. I have two kids. One in grade 5, one in kinder 2. Of course, one husband who is also an alumni of Faith Christian School. And, ayun lang.
Yes. You're like superwoman po, juggling everything at the moment.
Somehow.
And we want to ask, ma'am, has there ever been a moment in your life or a situation where you felt abandoned or you lost hope?
Okay. For me, the word abandon hasn't come into reality yet. Pero there are a lot of times that I feel hopeless. Okay, being hopeless, or siguro let me just focus with fear. Okay, fear in a sense of fear of what the future will be. Okay, for me as a mother, fear of what my children will be in the future. Will I be able to provide everything that they would need? Will I be able to train them? Fear that I might not be able to prepare or ready them for the future. So for us parents, so the fear that, preparing our children to be the person that they would want to be, or the purpose that God has set for them. So yun, I was actually contemplating na, Lord, nagagawa ko ba? Am I doing it right?
Yes po.
As a parent or as a mother. So yun yung typical fear. But for me as personally, hindi ko pa siya masyado wala pa sa vocabulary ko yung abandonment. Wala pa ako sa stage niyan, and I pray na hindi ko marating yung fear of abandonment. And hopelessness, I think lahat naman tayo, we sometimes feel hopeless in different areas of our life. It's just that how you learn how to accept it and learn how to deal with it.
Yes po. So in dealing with it, what are some mechanisms or coping mechanisms? How do you learn to move on from these emotions or these situations po?
Okay, medyo mabagal ako mag-move on. More on thinking process muna. Think, and then pray, a lot of praying, then initial steps, small steps at a time.
Yes.
So medyo mabagal kasi ako mag-action kasi I was afraid of whether I'm doing it right or baka it would lead me more to troubles.
The fact that you have this doubt or second thought in your mind po is really wise and beautiful, and I am very honored to be interviewing you po with this mindset, and I wish every parent had that thought of how their fear for their child's success in life. Now, before we end our interview po, I would like to ask you to give just one sentence to our audience. What would you recommend to those who are going through the same situation as you?
If you fear of what the future will be, all of us, I think we're getting there. The future is really uncertain. There's no certainty of what the future is. It's constantly changing. Pero one thing that gives me an assurance is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the future that I have for you, says the Lord. It's really one thing that you hold on to, you cling on to, that indeed our future may not be certain, but if we are with the Lord, He will provide, He will give ways, He will provide avenues on how He can direct your path. So that's one Bible verse that I really hold on to. And then sabi naman din ni Lord that nothing is impossible with me. If you abide in me, you remain in me, He will always be there to guide us.
Yes po. Thank you po so much, ma'am, for your time and for your wise answers. Thank you po, and God bless. Experiencing the fear of abandonment or loss of hopelessness is a feeling we don't want to experience. But for our second brave guest, Cynthia Custodio, a junior high school student, is here to share her experience that will inspire us all. It is an honor to have a courageous student who is ready to share her story. Without further ado, let us welcome Miss Cynthia as she shares her testimony while answering our questions. So, hello Cynthia.
Hello.
I'd like to start off first by asking, how are you?
I'm doing good so far, and so far this year has been not so great, but I'm doing good.
To start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Cynthia Custodio. People call me mostly Azzy, and I am 16 years old. I'm turning 17 by September 12th.
Okay, so Azzy, can you please tell us the situation that led you to that fear of abandonment or loss of hopelessness?
This started ever since when I was young. I had fear of abandonment because my parents weren't there all the time for me, and I was mostly focusing on myself during the time where I was still young, since I was always with my second family, or either with my cousins or with my friends, who were also a little and chosen, since I don't really have much friends before rather than now.
Yes. So you'd say that you've had this fear within you ever since you were a young child.
Yes, it's
How-
my biggest fear.
How old would you say?
I think younger than below 10 years old, I already started feeling scared to
Yes.
be alone in the world, because I realized at a young age that it's very scary to live alone in this world, knowing that you don't know anything that could come to you.
Yes. Can you describe the emotions that you felt while going through those numerous situations you felt the most abandoned or hopeless?
During those times, all I ask to myself is, where do I go and where do I have to be in place with, and how can I adjust myself with everyone who wants something for me that I cannot ask them. I mean, I cannot give them properly, because since I was very young at that age, and there were a lot of people expecting me to do good things and to be proud, and I don't want to break that. So
Yeah.
I'm always thinking of how should I be better for them and not for myself.
Yes, thank you so much, because that is a very brave realization, and I'm sure that everyone listening right now is very proud of you for simply being aware of that fact about you. What did you do during those challenging moments that helped you cope with it?
So first off, I started focusing on myself more, and I started to look for myself. I tried to find the things that I like to do, and I was trying to look for the comfort zone that none would get into. I mean, no one would, like come inside my comfort zone and destroy it. And all I'm thinking during those times were just like myself and those people who I entrusted my secrets to share with.
Yeah. Would you say that you've moved on or are in the process of moving on?
I am still not. I haven't moved on some traumas in my life, and in fact that I'm still healing, especially that now I'm growing up. There are more things that are worse and worse and worse that's coming into me.
So I want to ask, what did God do in your life to help you go through these tough situations?
God has been with me ever since I was young, but sometimes I just don't feel His presence, although He has told me to just keep moving forward.
Yes.
He has given me some friends who I am with until now, who are supporting me through my thick and thins.
Yes. Like our past or our previous interviewee, Miss Mary Fajardo, you have a very wise sense or wise way with your words, and I am very much happy that you are moving on from this, and I just wish you nothing but the best. Now, I would like to ask you to give just one sentence to our audience. What would you recommend to anyone who is going through the same situation as you right now?
If you want to love someone, or if you want to be better for someone, you should be focusing on yourself first, because it's not always about them, and you don't get to choose how you get hurt in this world.
Yes.
But the fact that you can say something about it means much more than just sticking by yourself, because it's also okay to cry, and it's also okay to tell someone that you don't feel well and that you want to just give up, because it's okay to give up and it's okay to not be okay. It's just that it always takes time. It takes time to heal, and it takes time to process the things that's happening around you. And even when you're growing up, there will be times that you would feel complicated, or you would feel like you're not doing well enough to other people or to anyone that you love, and you would feel like you're disappointing them. But it's the fact that as long as the world revolves, there will always be a better day, and it doesn't always have to end bad.
That's very, very true. Thank you so much, Azzy, for your time and for sharing to us your story. I know that you've been very brave ever since you were a child, and I applaud you for, making it until now. I believe that you've inspired all of us who are with you today. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bakit ka ba naghihintay? Nahimugin pa, pilitin pa ng tadhana. Alam mo na kung bakit nagkakaganyan. Lumulutang, nasasayang ang buhay mo, at ang ibig mo natutulog pa ang Diyos? Natutulog ba? Pati ka ay kaagad sumusuko. Konting hirap, konting pagsubok lamang. Bakit ganyan? Nasaan ang iyong tap? Nadudugtong
And that concludes the second episode of this year's Conquerors Talk Lenten Special. We would like to extend our utmost gratitude to today's interviewees, Mrs. Barabas and Ms. Custodio, for their comforting stories and kindness. Once again, I am Therese de la Peña from the FCS Campus TV, where your voices will be heard.
Natutulog pa ang Diyos, natutulog ba? Sikapin mo, pilitin mo, tibayan ang iyong puso. Tanging ikaw ang hubog sa iyong bukas. Huwag mo sanang akalain, natutulog pa ang Diyos. Ang buhay niyo ay mayroong halaga sa Kanya.